All right, champs. Let's take a look at what Kamala Harris dropped off in Springfield, Ohio, folks. This is not just dropping off people in certain places. And if you haven't seen the videos, you should already have seen them, where she admitted to dropping these jokers off in Springfield, Ohio. And they've also been granted, the Congress and our government has just approved $3.1 billion for these Haitians. So again, all you folks hollering about reparations, you can forget it, champs. You're a loser. You're not getting that reparations because the new slaves are here. You will have nothing and you will love it. Courtesy of Klaus Schwab in the WEF Forum. Universal basic income. All of that's coming next year. They've already said it and have announced it. But, oh, champs, some of y'all not paying attention. This is an article from 2013. And again, as I said, folks, do your research. But folks will not. You will depend on mainstream media for your source, and they are purposely lying to you. And this is the reason why we get a lot of people in a fog. Because people are so quick to turn on the radio and listen to news. You want to listen to Charlemagne the Fool, listen to him talk. You want to listen to all of these folks who don't have a clue, who have been given agendas and scripts to read to y'all. And y'all eat it up. So, before Kamala dropped off 20,000 plus and more to come, nobody was reporting that their pets were coming up missing before the drop-off. Kamala Harris is not, and Joe Biden, they're not just dropping people off, folks. They're dropping folks off who have a culture. It is the way that they live. And if you don't understand the culture, like a lot of folks don't, you don't understand the Venezuelan culture, the gang mentality, and how they operate, how they move. Again, Haiti, Venezuela, and every other place where all of these people are being shipped from, why is their crime rate dropped to zero all of a sudden? And ours has spiked. Wonder how could that be? So let's get into what Kamala Harris dropped off. Several times a day, lights cast down. This is just an article from an opening in the highest point of Grotto. Now, this is their tradition. So they brought this culture to Springfield, Ohio. Okay? During these times, many voodoo practitioners make their requests to the Loa or the Iowa. It's called Spirits of Haitian Voodoo. This has got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. This is all demonic and satanic. I ain't never heard Jesus called Loa or Iowa. Never. Many times I done read that book backwards and forwards. Never seen it in the scripts. This is what she dumped off on Ohio. The regions, Taino Indians also centered many of their rituals around the same light. Haitians practice voodoo. War-torn country, a lot of cannibalism going on down there too. So they decide to bring them up here and bring them in your suburban neighborhoods. They have dropped off a voodoo magic blood animal drinking culture. Now, God said not to eat or drink the blood of an animal in the Old Testament because the life is in the blood. He said, if you do so, it is an abomination unto you. Let's keep reading. That's the book. Okay. Now, this is getting into somebody that went to the Caribbeans and they witnessed something, right? But I want to get down here and talk to you about the part where because I don't want to make this beleaguer the video and make this a long video. But this person goes down there and they witness voodoo rituals. This was in 2018. That culture has now been shipped up here by the Democrats. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So Karen's travel. This is all this is about, okay? She went somewhere and she witnessed something, okay? This is something interesting here. It says the attitude shouldn't surprise anyone familiar with Karen's work. He's never been afraid. Oh, this is a male. His name is Karen. Okay. He's never been afraid to go after taboo subjects such as his work with the Ku Klux Klan, which was featured on Slate in August. Okay. That's that. Hey, well, yeah, dude could have a man's name. I've heard of it before. Okay, so he traveled to Haiti. But the part that I want you to see, and some of this I got to flip through because when I put this up on ScumTube and Trash Book, they could. Oh, his name is Anthony Karen. Okay. So they sacrifice animals and drink the blood of the animal, which, again, Most High said not to do. That's why we're not supposed to eat raw meat. You're supposed to cook it or boil it. So, but these guys are doing the opposite of what they're not supposed to be doing. Karen finds voodoo, sometime written in voodoo scholars, and others who say the spelling is more accurate, to be one of the most organic forms of spirituality he has witnessed. The voodoo faith teaches us to bless nature and support cosmic harmony for the purpose of mastering divine magnetism, he said. Voodoo accepts the existence of the visible and invisible, in a sense that it believed that one does not see all that exists. And voodoo is in full compliance with the laws of nature. Voodoo is mostly about black magic or conjuring evil forces, is only one of many misconceptions about the religion. This, they say, is a misconception, right? But the whole thing itself is witchcraft and black magic. The whole thing. But, oh, it's a misconception. We really don't mean it like that. But that's not how it looks. That's not how it come off. Okay? They say it's a misconception. But we all know better than that. Okay? Now, let's keep going. Because there's another part in here that I found very interesting. Okay? This is what they do. You tell me if this is something, and when you go to your Christian church or wherever you go to fellowship, do they practice this in your churches? Okay? Now, I got to skip past these because those are how they dress up their animal sacrifices. So when we see the pets missing, local news in Springfield are talking to residents about their pets missing. We got video of these jokers walking up and down the street snatching folks' pets off the porch. This is why they do it. Depending on the community and practices, voodoo animal sacrifice is an offering to the spirits. What spirits? Because the spirit that I follow is holy spirit, not. So how is it not evil? Okay? How is it not evil? We talking about lowercase spirits. Spirits are divinating spirits, spirits of divination. This is what KAMALA dropped off on Springfield. A whole culture. Now, the spirit is called LWA. Now, let's do this. Okay, let's, matter of fact, we in this web browser. Okay, let's open up another browser. All right, and then let's do this. What is the spirit of ain't it LWA? Sound like a wrestling league. Okay, now let's make sure that that's spelled right. Okay, now let's go ahead and hit search, but let's go back to our original. So they say LWA. Okay, I was right. LWA, the spirit of LWA. So now let's go back to our search result. So it says this. What is the spirit? It says showing results. What is the spirit of LWA? The painting of the LWA Damballa, a serpent. This is what I mean about people not researching and you just listening to the news and they're lying to you. Oh, that's not going on down there, but you dropped them off. This is the whole culture. Okay, so the LWA, the spirit, Lawa, okay, it is a serpent by a Haitian artist, Hector Hippolyte. The Lawa, also called Loa, are spirits in African diasporic religion of Haitian voodoo and Dominican voodoo. They also have been incorporated into revivalist forms of Louisiana voodoo. A lot of people don't understand that Louisiana, when slaves came over here, one of the ports that they dropped off was in Louisiana, and they brought a lot of black magic and witch doctors from Africa who was cursing the white man for bringing them over here as slaves. And so when you go to New Orleans, and that's what they do down there, and practice that and celebrate death and celebrate spirits. That's all Mardi Gras is. You're celebrating evil spirits. If you do your research, folks. People don't want to do the research, so I'm showing it to you. It's based off some type of serpent, which is again evil in nature. Okay? Now let's open this up. No, I don't want to look at all of this. Come on, man. Email me later. Get off of my screen with this crap. I hate these pop-ups. It's the worst. Okay, get off of there. Okay, now we researching, right? This is what they practice. Okay, Loa, also called Loa, are spirits in Africa, and I'm not going to try to pronounce this. It's a religion of Haitian voodoo, Dominican voodoo. They also been incorporated in revivalist forms of Louisiana voodoo. Many of the Loa derived from their identities in part of deities. The Bible calls deities demonic. Okay? These are venerated in the traditional religion of West Africa, especially those of the Fan Yoruba. It's a serpent, folks. What they worship is a serpent. That's what Lawa or Loa is, a serpent. They worship and they sacrifice to a serpent and they drink the blood of the sacrificial animal. Now, that's in total rebellion of what the law of God said in the Old Testament when he talked to the Jews through Moses and said, you don't eat the blood of the animal, you don't eat raw meat. Because there's sickness and disease in that, and you're eating the life of the animal when you eat raw meat. So how could we say Haitians aren't any better than people that go to a restaurant and eat raw steak and eat the blood of that meat? That ain't no different. You doing the same thing. Think about it. You went to the grocery store and got yours, or you went to the restaurant and got yours. They go to the park and get theirs, and they do the same thing. They eat the meat raw and drink the blood. How is that any different from folks that eat raw meat and eat raw steaks? I like mine medium rare. No. Okay? This is what Kamala dropped off in Springfield, Ohio. This is the culture. This is why people are reporting their pets missing. Because you snatch these folks right up out of something they've been doing all their life. And then you bring them up here in Babylonian country. And where we're not used to that. But we do the same thing in essence if you think about people eating raw meat. So why wouldn't people's pets be coming up missing? Question. Why wouldn't it? Because you snatch these people directly where they live, where they practice this all the time. Okay? Now they also say the Roman Catholics have some type of tie-in to this. Each Loa has its own personal and associated with specific colors and objects. Many of them are equated with specific Roman Catholic saints on the basis of similar characteristics or shared symbols. Okay? Because the Archbishop, Catholic bishop, has a serpent cane, a serpent staff that they walk around with. Some of this is way too deep for y'all. You done checked out on me, but that's all right. I'm going to continue to talk about it. Now, let me get back to that article. I want to end this video. Let's go back to, wait a minute. Right here. Now, it says this. After they sacrifice the animal, they draw all these crazy drawings on him, cut his head off, let the blood leak out, and they drink it. Kind of like the same way they did when they harvest adrenochrome. Okay, got to be careful. So, depending on the community practicing the animal sacrifice is an offering to the spirits, which is a serpent. Karen said the food is shared with the community after the sacrifice. The blood and sacrifice aren't always the most important aspect of the religion, he said. He said the voodooism also honors nature as a whole. This is what they believe, while including specifically trees, mountains, plants, stones. But regardless of those groups who do use the sacrifice parts of their practice, those of us who are carnivores or omnivores would be hypocrites to judge. That's what I just said, right? We be hypocrites, right? If you eat like that, but you eat in a more civilized manner with a knife and a fork, but you're still doing the same thing they doing when you eat your meat raw with blood running out of it. Okay? It says this, as we implicate or condone, if I said that right, this practice by butchering and eating meat. The images shown were taken during a pilgrimage that honored Saint Francis of Assisi. Karen compared it to the trip that one might take to all these other places, right? They pray for the sick, loved ones. So they think that this is something that they do, right? Okay. But I want to get to the part to where I read specifically when they drink the blood of these animals, they take into life, just as God said that you would do. Why you're not supposed to be doing this. Okay. It says, Karen said some Haitians blame voodoo for seemingly endless amounts of earthquakes. Because God is mad. You're practicing these evil practices and other natural disasters. Though he sees people returning to voodoo for some same reasons, others turn to faith, comfort, strength, self-empowerment. Okay. So, this is a practice. This is a culture that they do. Okay. And let's see, talk powder, refresh, purify the offering, the meat is hid by hidden share. Okay, now I'm not gonna get into the life. Oh, here we go, right here. This was the one that the life energy of the animal is for the serpent, the Loa. The Loa is a serpent. Often the blood is collected in bowls and later placed on the Pado Mitten, which represents the center of the universe and access of the spirit world. So they believe when they drink the blood of these animals, they think that they are entering into another world, a spirit world, which is demonic, folks. So this is what Kamala Harris dropped off on these folks in Ohio. Okay. Here is a paper out of Harvard education website. This is in 2003. Voodoo officially recognized as a religion by government. Okay. April 30, 2003, the BBC News reports voodoo has been practiced in Haiti since the late 18th century, but only now has it been recognized as a religion on a par with others worshipped in the country. Haiti's Catholic president, Jean Bertrand, took the decision earlier. Now, he's a Catholic. Understand what I'm saying? He's a Catholic president, and he's allowing voodoo to be a religion. And I just showed y'all the evidence why voodoo is not good. It don't take smarts to understand that, folks. Haiti's Catholic president made a decision in 2003, which means that voodoo ceremonies such as marriage now have equal standing with Catholic ones. Oh my God. And Kamala Harris snatched these people up out of their land and all of these things that they practice and dropped them off in a suburban Springfield, Ohio, which today, back in the day, it wasn't so much. It's kind of integrated now, but think about it. In a well-to-do neighborhood. You dropped off voodooism. You snatched these people right up out of where they live, dropped them off in Springfield, not too far from Cincinnati, where a Catholic president of their country said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make voodooism a religion. This is what Kamala Harris dropped off. This is why people's pets are missing.